With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by San Pellegrino Ciao, a new kind of flavored sparkling water. The kind made with real fruit juice, a pinch of Sicilian salt, and the sparkle of the Italian sun. With no added sugar and just 10 or less calories per can, enjoy. With love, from Italy. By San Pellegrino Ciao now.
Not all meals are created equal. For instance, breakfast has the spicy egg McMuffin for a limited time, and lunch doesn't. McDonald's breakfast comes first. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, and you can follow us on YouTube at youtube.com/@RamsUpPodcast. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined often by my football guru, Ian, along with a bunch of other friends of the show on occasion. Let's get to it. Hey, what's going on, Ram fans? Exciting time of year, training camp underway. Got some news and notes to share with you. The first thing I wanted to talk about is these rivalry uniforms. Rams putting out some teasers and on the YouTube channel showing a couple of images here. They're calling it the Midnight Mode, black and white, apparently. Now, I really can't decide how much I like them until I see the helmets, the whole thing, the whole package together, but kind of excited. You can never really go entirely wrong with black and white, black uniforms. And have another image here to share. This is highlighting the November 16th date. Rams hosting the Seahawks. The uniforms will be unveiled on August 28th, by the way. And man, just let us see them now. Come on. I can't wait to see these. It's pretty exciting. Like I've argued for years, forever, the Rams have the best basic get up in the league by far, I think. And sometimes, some uniforms we like more than others. Some color sets we like more than others. But anytime the Rams come out with a new uniform, I'm pretty excited and I'm hopeful they're getting it right this time. I think they are. It looks pretty nice. But until we actually see it, hard to say. Quit the teasing. Let's get to it. Show us the uniforms, Rams, and man, pretty exciting. I know it's just a uniform. Uniforms don't win games, but it's something for some of us fans to get excited about. Can't wait to hear what Ian has to say. He's the uniform guy. I think he should be a uniform designer. He'd probably nail it. Hey, it is episode 786 on the podcast, and I'm going to talk about a guy, going to go in the Wayback Machine here a little bit, a guy that played for the Rams in the early 1960s. He was a pretty well-known player, played both ways for the Rams, and that is number 86, Marlon McKeever. He was a linebacker and tight end, 6'1", 235 pounds. He actually had a twin brother, him and his brother Mike, both pretty good football players, and they were highlighted. They were featured on the cover of Sports Illustrated, and they were a pretty big deal, even at the high school level. standouts at Mount Carmel High School. And then they went on to play at USC. They're in the USC Athletics Hall of Fame, inducted in 1995. Now, Marlin was drafted by the Rams in 1961 in the first round. He was the fourth overall pick and played for the Rams through 1966. After the 1966 season, the Rams and George Allen traded McKeever and a first-round draft choice to the Minnesota Vikings for Tommy Mason. Now, McKeever was traded back to the Rams in 1971, and he was also traded alongside a couple of picks that the Rams turned into Isaiah Robertson and Dave Elmendorf. So he played for the Rams another 2 seasons, 71 and 72. And not too many guys can say this: over 1,000 yards receiving with the Rams and 8 interceptions. A great two-way player. Number 86 for our Los Angeles Rams, Marlon McKeever. Now, I wanted to go through some news items across the league. And the first thing I wanted to talk about, and it goes back to this guaranteed money discussion that's been going on across the NFL. Christian Wilkins, the very good defensive tackle signed by the Raiders prior to last season, suffered a Jones fracture, and he had a big guaranteed contract. How much? What? $35 million guaranteed contract. And he had that injury, and I guess the Raiders are not happy with his rehab or how he's approaching rehab, and they waived him and said, "You're not getting your money," and this is going to play out possibly in the courts. We'll have to see. And it just highlights the fact that even though you may have your guaranteed money, there's line items in the contract that spell out how you have to work and what you have to do in case there is an injury. You'll get your guaranteed money, but you better be working hard to get back on the field is basically what it comes down to, I guess. But Christian Wilkins, he's a free agent. Be interesting to see if someone picks him up. But guaranteed money or not, Wilkins is at the moment not getting paid and is a free agent. And Walter Nolan, the first round draft pick of the Raiders, he has hurt himself and will likely miss the rest of training camp. That's a big hit for the Cardinals. They invest a big time draft and free agency in the defense, and Nolan was probably the highlight of that. He was going to be a starter on that defensive front, and he still may be ready opening day, but it's certainly going to slow him down a little bit. Talk about some Rams here that are standing out at training camp. Stetson Bennett, I guess he's put on a little bit of muscle and has been playing really well in camp. And, is he got a shot at making this roster? Maybe he does. I just think as deep as this roster can potentially be, I don't know if carrying 3 quarterbacks is wise. If they can sneak him onto the practice squad, that would be ideal. But worth considering that Bennett and Jordan Whittington developed quite a bond last year, and that has continued into training camp. And Jordan Whittington making some big catches in camp, and you have to ask the question, is he pushing Tutu Atwell for snaps? I'm not sure he is, but could he actually beat out Tutu Atwell as a number 3 wide receiver? Something to keep an eye on. Sean Dolak, the undrafted rookie linebacker, has continued to impress coaching staff. He, I think at OTAs and the rookie minicamp and all that, he turned some heads, and that continues. I think, I could be getting the wrong read on this, but I think it's either Dolak or Reeder. We know Landman, Spates, and Pooh Paul are going to be on this roster. They're not carrying 5 inside linebackers. They bring Troy Reeder back, a guy that Chris Shula obviously loves. But I said this a couple months ago. Maybe it's time Reeder transitioned to coaching. That would be ideal. But Dolak, I think most Ram fans are pulling for him, a bigger upside there. And I don't mean to disparage Troy Reeder. He does bring certain things to the table, but he does have shortcomings as well. Tanner Ingle making a big interception on a tip pass in the inter-team scrimmage there yesterday. Darion Kendrick apparently tipped it. Tanner Ingle with the interception. And I don't want to make a big deal about this. This is not how a safety makes it on the roster. Just thought I'd mention it because I think Tanner Ingle and Nate Valcarcel, one of them, not both, have a shot at making this roster. So every time you make a play, that's a check mark in your favor, I think. And Warren McClendon, I think we were somewhat disappointed with his performance at times when he did get on the field, but Rams have been playing him at both tackle spots. Does he have a shot at beating out DJ Humphries if Alaric Jackson can't go? We'll have to keep an eye on that. But if nothing else, I think I'm feeling a little bit better about our depth there. Before the Alaric Jackson situation, I felt the Rams' biggest concern was backup left tackle. And that's a bigger deal now. We're already potentially to our second string left tackle. But who is it? Is it Humphries or McClendon? But if Alaric Jackson does come back, I think long-term McClendon will be the backup, and I'm feeling better about that. I still think as much as some Ram fans are certainly not in Joseph Noteboom's corner, you could do a lot worse as your backup left or right tackle, swing tackle. And McClendon's kind of that guy moving forward, apparently. Kobe Durant making plays all over the field, apparently. And the thing about Kobe Durant is he's kind of a forgotten guy. He gets overlooked. People talk about, I shared recently that the Rams cornerback duo was rated, I think, 29th in the league or something like that. But if you go three deep, you consider the top three cornerbacks across the NFL. I think the Rams would probably jump up into the mid-teens because of Kobe Durant. Solid player, a very versatile defensive back as well. You can play him in a lot of different spots. Deploy him in a lot of different ways as a cornerback, nickelback. So top two cornerbacks, nothing to get too excited about. But when you consider Durant as the number 3, if that's what we're considering, not too shabby. And then Puka Nacua, what are they saying about Puka Nacua? Basically, what did one of the players say? He's a psychopath, basically. And I can kind of see that. He's making catches over the middle, making catches all over the field. He is a beast. He is a warrior. And man, I can't wait to see what him and Devontae Adams can do together, especially if this offensive line and the running game's going as well. Man, this could be a really special offense. And, this offense has been good at times over the last couple of years, but I don't think it's been super special. It needs to be better. We need to be pushing 30 points once in a while. Offense has been good. Our offense has been slow starting at times. We got to get over that hump. But man, Puka Nacua, the psychopath, Puka the psychopath Nacua, strutting his stuff already in camp. Good to see.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. Sports are all about teamwork, and so is insurance. Whether you need an in-person or digital assist, State Farm is there to help you choose the right coverage for your home, car, and more. Get a game plan that helps fit your life and talk to State Farm today. State Farm with the assist. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability and eligibility vary by state.
I'm always looking for ways to show my cat how much I love her. And with Fancy Feast Gems, I can pamper her whenever I want with a savory gravy on top of a gourmet mousse pâté. The pyramid shape makes serving simple, so all I have to do is peel and plate to make mealtime feel extra fancy. And with 2 entrees in every pack, it's easy to turn every day into the extraordinary. Fancy Feast Gems.
Finding a new job is stressful. But with Indeed, it doesn't have to be. Just fill out your Indeed profile with your skills, experience, and desired salary. The more you fill out, the better your matches will be. And hearing from hiring managers will be 2 times more likely. Relax. That's your Indeed profile sending opportunities your way. Indeed, the world can work better.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there's one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
Now, I wanted to talk real quickly about the 49ers. I saw an article about Jacob Cowing is got banged up. Brandon Ayuk not quite ready to go. Ricky Pearsall had an injury, slowed him down. He looks like he's getting geared up again. Juwan Jennings had some issues with his contract, but he's in camp and playing. And then there's Demarcus Robinson, who's still waiting word on a potential suspension. What I'm getting at here is, I don't know if this wide receiver group is, it's good. If they're all there, all healthy, all available, it's a pretty darn good wide receiver group. But there's questions around every one of these players. Jennings, not happy. Ayuk coming back from an injury. Cowing, nursing an injury. Pearsall, trying to get back up to speed. And DeMarcus, also I should mention with Pearsall, an unknown quantity, really, right? How much I think he's going to be a decent wide receiver. Is he going to be a number 1 or number 2 that people are talking about at the end of the year? We don't know. And then Demarcus Robinson, the suspension issue. I read one article that said he has been handling himself and doing some things, not quite sure exactly what that means, that could result in him avoiding a suspension. I'm betting against that. I think he's going to miss a couple of games. But this wide receiver group for the 49ers compared to the Rams, and even compared to, dare I say, the Seahawks and the Cardinals, I guess it really depends on Ayuk. If Ayuk comes back and he's the old Ayuk, this group will probably be just fine. But right now, we're concerned. We get all spun up about Matthew Stafford's lower back, keeping him off the field. 49er fans can't be too thrilled about the situation in their wide receiver room. Although the one upside, Christian McCaffrey, apparently looks like he is 100% the old McCaffrey, good to go. And that is a revolting development for the Rams defense, that's for sure. Now, I wanted to talk about the Lions and Amon St. Brown and Brian Branch getting in a fight yesterday in camp. And then the previous day, I guess there was another fight. Not sure who was involved in that. Dan Campbell, who kind of fosters this type of, in your face, we'll fight you from goalpost to goalpost. What was his original quote when he got signed? You're gonna knock us down. We're gonna be biting your ankles and break your knees and all that physical aggressive talk, whatever. But so he had to end practice 2 days in a row because teammates were fighting. And, there's one side that says, oh man, this team is just chomping at the bit. They just need to get on the field and start taking out their aggressions on an opponent. But I'm going to go the other way and say this can't be good for a team, for a clubhouse, this culture. Amon St. Brown, one of their best players on offense, and Brian Branch, a key player on their defense, getting in a physical fight on the field. Could you imagine Puka Nacua and Quentin Lake, throwing haymakers? No, you would never see that. And it's a really bad look and a bad development for the Lions, in my opinion. We'll see how it goes, but I certainly wouldn't be happy. And it's something that, Campbell probably did the right thing ending practice, but geez, it's not something a coach wants to be dealing with. 2 key players, one on offense, one on defense, brawling on the field, and practice has ended. whatever. You can have that culture. I'll take the Sean McVay culture any day of the week. Now, what else am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about 21 personnel here real quickly. And I'm not going to do a deep dive because I'm not really an X and O guy, but it's been discussed here a little bit on the YouTube channel, and some comments, people saying, I think Sean McVay may have incited these discussions, talking about the team's going to be much more versatile. And is 21 personnel potentially one of the answers? And for those of you a little bit out of the loop here, 21 personnel is basically 2 running backs and 1 tight end. And on the YouTube channel, I have a diagram here, a real simple diagram. You're talking about a fullback and a running back, 2 wide receivers, and a tight end. Could it be 2 halfbacks? I suppose, but in most cases, we're calling these guys fullbacks. And, is that in the Rams' plans? Well, let's talk about it a little bit. And I'm not going to take a position on it. Well, actually, I am at the end here. But, I checked in with this website, Weekly Spiral, to educate myself a little bit. And, the 49ers use 21 personnel a lot with Kyle Juszczyk, obviously. And what happens when you run 21 personnel? Well, what happens is, and this is courtesy of Weekly Spiral's explanation, the 49ers against the Saints. They had a diagram up. I didn't want to steal their imagery, but I'll kind of use their words here to explain how it works and why it can be advantageous. The 49ers run Kyle Juszczyk out there with a tight end and 2 wide receivers, and the Saints match up with 7 players in the box, brings them closer to the line of scrimmage. And what does that allow you to do? It can open up play action, and especially if you have a fullback like Kyle Juszczyk, who's one of the smaller fullbacks in the league, actually, which means that he is more suited to be used in the passing game. And he was, Juszczyk, 6'1", 235. He had 5 rushes for 26 yards last year and 1 TD. But he did have 19 catches for 200 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a guy like Juszczyk and his size, is basically a big running back. He can block very well, but he's actually a very good receiver. Some of these other fullbacks we'll talk about here in a second are much bigger, not really well suited for being used in the passing game, but great in short yardage, great if you have the lead in the fourth quarter and you're just trying to maul the other team for 2-3 yards, burn the clock, and hopefully get a first down on third down. But 11 personnel is really the big, the much more favored personnel grouping at this point. In 2023, less than 10% of offensive plays were run out of 21 personnel. 11 personnel was 60 to 70%. Who are the other big tight ends? I shouldn't say big. Well, some of these guys are big. The other tight ends of note, fullbacks in the league right now. Patrick Ricard of the Ravens, 6'3", 300 pounds. So he is he's a blocking fullback. That's what Patrick Ricard is. Did have 3 catches for 22 yards. Then there's Alec Ingold of the Dolphins, 6'1", 232. Similar to Juszczyk in size, 10 rushes for 17 yards, 11 catches for 96 yards. So, the smaller fullbacks better suited for receiving. Then there's Michael Burton of the Broncos, 6 feet 247, had 7 rushes for 8 yards. So obviously he's going to be used more as a blocker. Reggie Gilliam of the Bills, 6 feet 244, 3 rushes for 7 yards, no catches. And then there's C.J. Ham of the Vikings, 5'11 and 250. So I bring all this up just to, broach the question, could the Rams be going 21 personnel? And, there's 2 reasons I would say no. Obviously, you're putting in an extra running back. I don't think they have a true fullback. The biggest running back on their roster right now is undrafted rookie Jordan Waters. coming in at 225, a little bit bigger than Jarquez Hunter. Are these guys going to be suited for a fullback role? I'd be really surprised if you're going to run a guy like that out there and keep a guy like Jordan Whittington or Tutu Atwell off the field. I think 2 tight ends would make more sense with the 12 personnel grouping. 1 running back and 2 tight ends makes more sense. And the problem with, injecting a true fullback into your setup is, if that guy gets banged up, all those plays get torn out of the playbook pretty much overnight. You're not going to carry 2 fullbacks. Now, one thing they could do, and, we've been talking a lot about Willie Lampkin. Willie Lampkin, the Rams are showing him at 5'11", 290 now. Maybe he has put on a little bit of weight. If he has he? That increases his chances of making this roster as a backup offensive lineman. But if he was on this roster, you could line him up as a fullback. And remember, this guy's got really long arms, really good at getting downfield and picking off would-be tacklers. So maybe that's a thought. I'm not predicting this is going to happen, but if Willie Lampkin were to make this team, and if he was coming in at 280, it's actually a lower weight than Patrick Ricard right now. Could you line him up as a fullback? Absolutely. And I think that it makes a lot of sense. Now, the problem with Lampkin is, he's not going to be part of the receiving game. So maybe you just run Davis Allen and Colby Parkinson out there in 12 personnel, or Terrence Ferguson and Colby Parkinson. And maybe that makes more sense. Yeah, you have the extra blocker with the receiving ability. But we'll talk about this more with Ian. 12 personnel versus 21 personnel. What makes more sense? And it's going to be driven by personnel. But if Willie Lampkin finds his way onto this roster, that would be open up the possibility of 21 personnel for our Rams. That's what I'm thinking. Tell me in the comments if you think I'm getting this entirely wrong. But if you love Willie Lampkin, and you should, and you want to see the Rams get more versatile, and you should, Willie Lampkin, 21 personnel, might be one of the answers, might be something we see this year. And that would be, it'd be interesting if nothing else. Would Sean McVay go there? I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced that he, if it's something he's going to stick with, especially if it's really only getting you 2 yards, 3 yards. If we can get bigger plays in our run game because of that, or out of play action, then maybe McVay rolls with it more often. But we definitely got to get more versatile. And McVay has been talking about that all offseason. Maybe this is something we'll see. But another reason why maybe we'll be rooting for Willie Lampkin to make this roster. I certainly hope so. That's all I got out here from Rams Up.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.